Google Forms is accessible in a paid account inside the Waffle, or you can simply type forms.google in the top URL browser window, or better yet, drop down to More, select Google Forms, and a new form will be created for you. Google Forms is one of the most versatile products in the Gsuite family of products. You can use it for all kinds of functions, including polls, quizzes, intaking information, and surveys. Simply click at the top of the form and begin typing. You want to add a title here. And you'll see up at the top, it's also populating. And you'll want to add a description so users know exactly what type of information you're looking for. And by clicking, you can see the title self-populates from the description window. The first thing you'll want to do is select a question type. Multiple choice automatically populates for you. You can begin typing your multiple choice question. And then proceed to enter answers. Each time you drop down, the third button drops to the bottom, and a quick option to add other appears. You can add images to your answer types, allowing the user to select an image as their answer, following the process we expect going into Drive or over to our computer. And now you can see an image is appearing as a potential answer. I can change the type of question by clicking on this drop-down here. You have the option to have users answer with short answers, paragraphs, the multiple choice we're currently using, checkboxes, and even to upload files. These navigation buttons at the bottom of the question allow you to quickly duplicate your question, delete it, and also to select whether the question will be required or not required. So if you're creating a bunch of multiple choice questions quickly and some of your content repeats, this is a quick way to create a quiz or survey. But let's give a shot at changing the format of the question. So I'll put paragraph. You can see what this looks like here, requiring users to answer in a complete sentence. And you can see there's the required button that I will select, which means they've got to do it. This box that expands allows you to relate one question to another. So if you have a series of questions that unlock based on answers, you'll want to use that. I can drag and drop my questions, changing the order around. I can use this navigation bar to add a new question, insert an image, update the font that I'm using, insert a video, and in this case, create a new section. As users move through your questions, one page will end and they will have an option to click next and advance to the next section. So I can have a new header here, a new description. Clicking on the dots for settings allows me to duplicate, move, or even merge this section back with the previous section above it, should I change my mind. Let's add a new question. And I'm actually going to go ahead and add another section. So when we go to test out this form, you'll see how the content breaks across pages. I give it a new title. This is an excellent way to chunk your content. And this time we're going to use an image. This entire section will be an image, not just a question attached to an image, but an image that users can look at, maybe have some copy details surrounding, and reflect on in later questions. So we'll add some descriptive copy here. My tater tot waffle. You can see how it looks with the entire image and popping back up. Let's look once again at how it looks when an image is attached only to an answer. So these are the two types of images that can be inserted into the body of a question on a form. This adorable mini artist palette opens up the Themes option panel, where the options are endless. Click on the Change Image button and pull up this modal popover where you can select a theme image for your header, upload an image, or choose from your Google Photos. But I'm going to take one from the theme so we could see the whole thing. So I've selected this recipe cooking header. And what's really cool is I can change the colors that are being used for the background and the lines of emphasis around the questions themselves. I can choose the font, but let's be careful in terms of readability. It is a survey, so you want to make sure that you don't get too fancy and confuse people as to what questions you are answering. But the sky really is the limit in terms of adding in brand logos, custom headers, so that you can create a great customer feedback survey. Designate how you'd like to collect responses under the Settings icon. You can collect email addresses and send response receipts to people who participate in your quiz or survey. You can allow users to edit the quiz or survey after they respond the first time, if you'd like to give them a second shot or let them revise their information. Control how the presentation looks here with a presentation progress bar and the ability to show another link to submit another response. Maybe it's something you want shared. If you want them to get a confirmation receipt. And for quizzes in this section, teachers are able to automatically grade their quiz by designating the answers ahead of time. So before they get their response receipt, the quiz is already graded. This also allows a student to take a quiz multiple times and improve their answer. So with my settings configured, I'm ready to now go ahead and send out my survey. Clicking send brings up this window where I can email a respondent directly, create a link that I could then share. I can add collaborators at the bottom who may also be watching the results of the survey or quiz, and I can share on social media. I can shorten my URL by ticking that box. I can click these two arrow brackets to create an embed link so that I can embed it inside of another website, such as Google Sites, which we'll take a look at a little later on in the course. And now that my survey has been sent and shared, I'm ready to take a look at how we collect and view responses. Go up to the Responses tab. You will see this toggle controls whether or not you are still accepting responses or not, so you can close your survey. And I can send a message to respondents here, thanking them for taking the survey or any other copy I'd like to include. Clicking on the green Google Sheets icon opens a brand new spreadsheet where I can view the individual questions as columns now. But no one has answered my survey yet, so it's still empty. If we look back on the responses page, up at the three settings dots, we can see different ways that we can receive the responses and how we can unlink the spreadsheet should we decide to do that. But we can also have the results emailed. Let's go ahead and take the survey so we can see how a respondent experiences it. So start with entering the name, select the image answer we prefer. Now, if we tried to advance to the next section and a question was required, Google Forms will send the user back and require them to answer the question before advancing to the next section. So you can see the next buttons here, our image. Here we complete this section and submit. Once we go over to the submit page, we can see the settings that we configured. So the user has the ability to take the survey again or to revise their answers. And on the spreadsheet, we now see our responses are collected. And back under the Responses tab, you can see several ways that the responses are visualized, including charts and graphs. We only have one answer, so the visualization is limited, but it gives you an idea of all the great data and graphics that are generated that can then be placed in other reports, slides, and documents. Now our survey is closed. And if we go back over to the respondent's email, we had designated that they would be able to see the results in their email. They can review their responses, see a little thank you message, and even take the survey again.